This is breaking news. It's unbelievable, but it's true. The Senate Judiciary Committee opens criminal investigation into former President Barack Hussein Obama. American Freedom Fighters reports. Sassy Liberty. The left continues to run their mouths about the Russian hacking, using disgraced and fired former FBI Director James Comey to attack Trump, the administration of Trump. The Democratic mouthpiece may be writing the proverbial checks that their backsides cannot cash, and now has opened up a legal can of worms for Obama and his administration. Comey testified under oath, and he revealed very damaging incidents regarding the Obama administration and the political interference, as well as what could be termed outright obstruction of justice of the Hillary Clinton email investigation by Obama's Attorney General, Loretta Lynch. Now, the Senate will launch an investigation against the former Obama administration for obstruction of justice. The Senate Judiciary Committee announced it will hold hearings to, quote, examine then Attorney General Loretta Lynch's involvement in the Clinton email server investigation, end quote. In the panel, if the panel does indeed determine obstruction of justice that it did take place, and it seems that it did, it could lead to the separate criminal investigation and the appointment of another separate counsel just for this matter alone. Former Attorney General Loretta Lynch's action reek of obstruction of justice, according to Comey's testimony of June 8th. He says that she ordered him to mislead the public about the criminal investigation of Hillary Clinton. In order to do that, she asked him to call it a matter rather than an investigation. And he complied with her wishes, even though it made him feel, quote-unquote, queasy. And then she refused to recuse herself from the case after James Comey confronted her about a secret June 2016 meeting she had with former President Bill Clinton in the airport tarmac, the famous or infamous tarmac meeting, 5 days before his wife, Hillary Clinton, was scheduled to be interviewed by the FBI. Hillary, of course, at that time was cleared 3 days later of all charges. So there are many concerns that were raised, including among the left, that Lynch privately assured the Hillary campaign that she had the FBI agents on lockdown and that the investigation would not go too far, quote unquote, so that Hillary should not be worried about that. Loretta Lynch would have taken care of it, according to a message the FBI intercepted involving then Democrat National Committee Chairwoman, here we go again, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She's all over the place. According to reports from the New York Times, Comey testified that he worried his former boss, Loretta Lynch, had a conflict of interest in her oversight of Hillary's email investigation. All this came out in his testimony. He further testified that he potentially considered the possibility of calling for the appointment of special counsel to take over the case. He stated in hindsight that would have been the right move, but instead he simply shut down the probe, letting Hillary off the hook just 3 weeks before the election. What can I say? I'm sitting here, it's mind-boggling what took place. And we're talking about, this is not some banana republic. We're talking about all this happening in the US of A, the superpower of the world, the seat of democracy. Rather than questioning, Comey simply went along to get along, not rock the boat. Questions that come up at the Senate hearing may be these. 1. Who else was in the room during your meetings with Lynch? 2. Did you take notes? 3. Are there any additional memos? First of all, we have to refer to the point that the famous or infamous Trump-Comey memos that supposedly Comey kept have not been given to the Congress Investigative Committee yet. They've asked for them, and Comey has still not come up with them. And people are asking, do they actually exist? So let's keep in mind, Any and all memos or notes could be subpoenaed, along with the NSA recording of Lynch's chat with Bill Clinton, which took place on board a government plane. Lynch is certain to be called to answer to Comey's allegations under oath, as well as finally giving an account of that super double top secret discussion between herself and former President Bill Clinton prior to the Comey's deciding of not pressing charges against Bill Clinton's wife, the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party, Hillary Clinton. Yes, he cleared her, he covered up for her, as Lynch promised that she would not allow the investigation in Hillary to go too far. Yes, it did not, it stopped. So Comey decided no charges would be forthcoming against Hillary Clinton in the email investigation by the FBI, despite that being beyond the scope of his responsibilities to recommend. He had no business stating anything, holding a press conference, being judge and jury over Hillary. Now, how Lynch will testify under oath remains to be seen, and we'll get to hear her. She will testify under oath. So we have an eventful few weeks coming up. Yet, as Bill Clinton has clearly seen, perjury can cost one their law license, so it's not anything to play with. Lynch is likely to need to answer the following. This is the minimum she'll be asked. 1. What did she and Bill Clinton discuss? And nobody believes it discussed golf and children. So what did they discuss? Number 2. Did the investigation come up? Of course it did. Number 3. Why didn't she recuse herself despite admitting it looked bad? Because she wanted to be Hillary's Attorney General. Number 4. Did she promise the Hillary campaign a whitewash? Of course. So the left will have an extremely difficult time dismissing the investigation as any sort of partisan effort since Dianne Feinstein, a ranking Democrat on the judicial panel, said she wanted answers to Lynch's actions because they were suspicious and they need a legitimate avenue of inquiry. So those remarks should allow for bipartisan effort to pursue an aggressive investigation into obstruction of justice claims that are brought forth by Comey's testimony, and to refer to any and all evidence for criminal prosecution against Lynch. Many speculate that Attorney General Jeff Sessions would also recuse himself from this probe. It's likely to end up in the hands of a special prosecutor, making it a nightmare scenario for the Democrats. The left has bet much on the 2018 midterms to shift Washington back into their favor, despite their obstruction of justice. None of that seems to be working out for them, though. It seems to be going from bad to worse. They're lying in ruin, and they want nothing to do with Hillary Clinton. Neither, of course, lately, from one of my recent posts today, Nancy Pelosi. They're calling for her to quit their leaders as well. Comey's testimony has actually given Republicans grounds to shift focus from the Russian probe back to Hillary and Lynch Obama corruption. I'll leave a link below for you for this on America's Freedom Fighters.